Welcome to Serenity and Fire, the podcast where wellness meets grit. I'm your host, Krista Guagenti, founder of Panacea Luxury Spa Boutique. Join me as we dive into the intriguing world of biohacking, clean living, cutting-edge spa trends, and the hustle, grind, and grit of entrepreneurship. From my personal battles with weight management, infertility, and a 30-year journey to create and launch my dream business, to building a sanctuary for those who have been touched by cancer, I'm here to share real talk, inspire big dreams, and spark a passion for holistic living inside each and every one of you. So let's dive in. Welcome back to Serenity and Fire. I'm so happy you're here today because we're diving deeper into a biohacking technology that I'm super excited about, and that is hydrogen water. I've mentioned hydrogen water in a couple of my previous episodes, so today I wanted to share more because even though the concept is super simple, there's a lot to it, and I want you to have as much information as possible before you make a decision to add this into your own health and wellness routine. You've probably heard athletes, biohackers, and other health enthusiasts raving about hydrogen water's potential to boost energy, reduce inflammation, increase brain health, and even slow aging. It's quickly becoming a rising star in the world of health and wellness, not only because the science behind hydrogen water is really fascinating, but the technology is super accessible. And if you believe what I'm about to share with you today, it's definitely worth looking into and making the investment in if you want to step up your biohacking game. But is everything around hydrogen water just hype, or is there actually real science benefits that backs it up? First of all, as the founder of Panacea Luxury Spa Boutique, I want to say that I'm all about diving deep into the research and cutting through the noise to find what works for our clients. And making sure that we're finding the best of the best is super important to me, and that every service and product we offer at Panacea provides true therapeutic benefit while also supporting clean, holistic living, especially for our oncology clients. So in this episode, I'll break down the science-backed benefits of hydrogen water, share insights from expert researchers, tell you how to get hydrogen water, and also give you practical ways to incorporate it into your life. By the end of today's show, you'll know why hydrogen water is a game changer, where to get it, and how to try it yourself. So what is hydrogen water? If you remember from my Eliminating Toxins episodes, I explained that hydrogen water, which is also known as hydrogen-rich water, is just normal water that contains dissolved hydrogen gas. Or, said another way, it is regular water infused with extra molecular hydrogen gas, or H2. Molecular hydrogen is the smallest, most abundant molecule in the entire universe, and it's literally everywhere. Okay, so what does all of that mean? And if we're drinking water every day, which is H2O, what's the big deal? Aren't we getting hydrogen every time we drink water? And if molecular hydrogen is literally everywhere, aren't our bodies just taking it in naturally all of the time? So the answer to both of those questions is no. You're not getting molecular hydrogen in your normal drinking water. While drinking water contains hydrogen, it is chemically bound to oxygen via covalent bonds. This just means that the hydrogen atoms and the oxygen atoms share electrons in order to create a stable water molecule. Molecular hydrogen is a separate molecule made up of two hydrogen atoms that are not bound to oxygen. Additionally, while H2 can diffuse into the body, it's not absorbed in the same way as oxygen is. So unlike how we can absorb oxygen just by breathing air, the body doesn't have specialized mechanisms to capture and utilize H2 for energy production like it does for oxygen. It actually needs a delivery mechanism, like water, in order for our bodies to absorb it. So we have to actually infuse hydrogen into the water in order for you to absorb it. So before we talk about how to get molecular hydrogen into our drinking water, let's talk about what molecular hydrogen actually is and what it does for you. Hydrogen water, as I've stated, is a potential game changer for overall health because unlike traditional antioxidants, molecular hydrogen is the smallest and most bioavailable antioxidant molecule in existence. It's so small that 200,000 molecules can span the width of a single hair. It can penetrate deep into your cell membranes, and it can even cross the blood-brain barrier, allowing it to reach areas of the body that other antioxidants simply cannot go. But what are antioxidants, and why do we care about them, and why do we need them? Well, when we expose our bodies to things like pollution, toxins, the sun's harmful UV rays, smoking, and all of the things that I talked about in my Eliminating Toxins episodes, our body's natural defense system becomes overwhelmed and something called harmful free radicals are formed. Some free radicals are actually good for the body, but only when they are present in controlled amounts and our natural physiological systems can keep them in check. These good free radicals are used by immune cells to attack and destroy pathogens like bacteria and viruses, for example. It's similar to how we have good bacteria and bad bacteria in our bodies. But problems arise when free radicals accumulate excessively in the body. And when this happens, those harmful free radicals damage our cells, and they can cause a plethora of significant health conditions, including cancer, heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and so many other chronic conditions, not to mention aging, inflammation, and something called oxidative stress. So oxidative stress occurs when those harmful free radicals in our body outnumber the antioxidants in our body. And this is when cellular damage really starts to occur. Ultimately, this leads to all of the health conditions that I just mentioned. But antioxidants are what neutralize those free radicals. So having an abundance of antioxidants in our body is really critical to fighting all of these things. And when our body can no longer produce enough antioxidants to fight these free radicals, we have to get those antioxidants from external sources. Since molecular hydrogen is the most bioavailable and most powerful antioxidant molecule in existence, and because it is so small that it can get to those places in the body that other antioxidants can't, it can penetrate every cell in your body, including those in your brain, to help fight these harmful free radicals. And it can do it without damaging those good free radicals. So in short, molecular hydrogen is the external oxidant that we all need and the source that we want in our bodies. Additionally, by reducing that harmful oxidative stress, our mitochondrial health is enhanced. And mitochondria are critical to energy production, cellular health, and overall vitality. Think of mitochondria as your energy store system in the body. We need it in order to fight disease and prevent aging. Additionally, by reducing harmful oxidative stress, our mitochondrial health is enhanced. Mitochondria are critical for energy production, cellular health, and overall vitality. Think of mitochondria as our energy store system for the body. We need mitochondria in order to help fight disease and aging. Protecting our mitochondria from free radical damage is essential to our optimal health and wellness. So anything we can do to increase mitochondrial health, increase mitochondrial development, and mitochondrial activity in our bodies is critical to better recovery, sustained energy, and optimal cellular function. Another amazing thing about molecular hydrogen is that research suggests that hydrogen gas consumption may help counteract the negative effects of stress on brain cell growth. And when I say stress, I mean free radicals and other environmental, physical, and emotional stressors, all of which can reduce the growth and division of a specific cell in the brain called a neural progenitor. These are cells that develop into neurons and other brain cells. We need neural progenitors. These cells build and repair the nervous system and are important for learning, memory, and even recovering from brain injuries. So by consuming hydrogen, this reduction in neural progenitor growth may be improved, potentially helping to maintain cognitive functions like focus and attention. In simpler terms, H2 might help protect the brain from stress-related damage, supporting better mental clarity and attention. One of the experts in this field, whose research I have been following, is Dr. Tyler LeBaron. He's a biochemist, and he also obtained his PhD in physiology researching molecular hydrogen. He's been studying it since 2009 and is the executive director of the Molecular Hydrogen Institute, which is a nonprofit science-based organization that focuses on advancing research, education, and awareness about the health benefits of molecular hydrogen. Dr. LeBaron says hydrogen water is like giving your body a microscopic shield against oxidative stress. And I don't know about you, but I want all of the aging and disease preventative shields that I can possibly get into my body. So, are you starting to see why I'm so obsessed with hydrogen water? It really is incredible. And this is just the beginning. We've talked a lot about the physiology of molecular hydrogen, but what proof is there that demonstrates its effectiveness? So let's dive into the actual science. Even though the science behind hydrogen water is still evolving, hydrogen water is approved by the National Institutes of Health with over 3,000 research studies and over 200 human trials demonstrating compelling and promising findings. So let's break it down and look at the science behind some of the key benefits that I just mentioned, starting with its antioxidant power. As I shared already, hydrogen water selectively neutralizes those harmful free radicals without disrupting the beneficial ones that your body needs for things like signaling and immune boosting. A landmark 2007 study in Nature Medicine found that hydrogen gas protected the brain from oxidative stress, setting the stage for today's very compelling research in this area. This antioxidant action is a big deal because, as we already talked about, oxidative stress, which is caused by things like poor diet, stress, radiation, or pollution, is damaging cells and contributing to things like aging, cancer, heart disease, and those other significant health conditions that we talked about. And a 2020 study in Scientific Reports showed that drinking 1.5 liters of hydrogen water daily for 4 weeks reduced inflammation and protected blood cells in healthy adults, especially those over 30. At Panacea, we see this as a perfect fit for our oncology clients because reducing that oxidative stress supports recovery from treatments like radiation. Okay, so next up is inflammation. Those of you who know me know that I'm constantly talking about how inflammation is the root of all evil. It is where so many of our chronic health conditions begin, from arthritis to autoimmune disease, and even in conditions like PCOS. Hydrogen water's anti-inflammatory properties come from its ability to suppress pro-inflammatory cytokines and activate antioxidant pathways like NRF2. So what the heck is all of that? And what does any of that even mean? So basically, this means that hydrogen water helps reduce inflammation in the body in 2 key ways. The first one is suppressing those pro-inflammatory cytokines. In other words, it calms down molecules in the body that trigger inflammation. And simply put, inflammation is the body's response to injury or stress. But as we all know, it can be very harmful if it's excessive. And in a way, inflammation's kind of cool because it's also our body's way of telling us that something's wrong. Okay, the second way that hydrogen water is reducing inflammation is by activating those antioxidant pathways like NRF2. This stands for nuclear factor erythroid 2 related factor 2. That doesn't really matter. It's a total mouthful. But what really does matter is that NRF2 is a protein in your cells that acts like a master switch for turning on the body's antioxidant defenses. So molecular hydrogen activates this and boosts the body's natural antioxidant production. So essentially, molecular hydrogen is dual purpose because it reduces inflammation and it boosts that antioxidant production. And all of the research that we talked about, and that I'm also going to continue to share, backs this up. For example, a 2020 study with metabolic syndrome patients found that drinking high concentrations of water for 24 weeks improved inflammation markers and even reduced cholesterol levels. For our clients at Panacea, and honestly for anyone, this means less pain and more vitality, especially for those navigating cancer or chronic conditions. Another exciting benefit of hydrogen is its effect on energy and athletic performance. Exercise, as you probably know, produces reactive oxygen species, or ROS. This is what can cause muscle fatigue in the body. So studies like the one in medical gas research found that athletes drinking hydrogen water before workouts had lower blood lactate levels and less muscle fatigue. A 2021 study in Biology of Sport showed improved cycling performance in trained athletes after 7 days of hydrogen water use. And there are a plethora of major athletes who swear to the recovery benefits of hydrogen water. But whether you're an athlete or you're just chasing more energy, this makes H2 a game changer. And when we look at brain health and the ability of molecular hydrogen to reduce neuroinflammation and protect against cognitive decline, a 2013 study on Parkinson's patients found slower symptom progression with regular hydrogen water use. Another study in 2018 showed improved mood and reduced anxiety in health adults after just 4 weeks of use. Imagine feeling sharper and calmer. I think that's something we all want, right? And I can tell you, for me, when I first started using hydrogen water, I immediately felt more energized and more focused. And I've been using hydrogen water now for probably a few months. And one of the biggest benefits I see is definitely in my athletic recovery. I've finally conceded to the fitness experts and am now doing heavy weight workouts. But I found that my muscle recovery is incredible, and I'm lifting 2 to 3 times what I was lifting just a month ago, and my muscles are not sore at all. It's really, honestly, pretty phenomenal. And for our oncology community, hydrogen water has specific benefits. A 2011 study with liver cancer patients showed that drinking hydrogen water during radiation therapy improved quality of life and reduced oxidative stress without affecting their treatment outcomes. Another study found that it helped shrink tumors when used with other drugs. So while hydrogen water is not a cure, it's a safe, supportive tool, which is why we're so excited about bringing it to Panacea, and also why I'm so excited about sharing it with you today. Some other benefits include metabolic health and skin health improvements. A 2023 meta-analysis found hydrogen water lowered total cholesterol, LDL, and triglycerides in clinical populations. For skin, a 2014 study showed that it reduced wrinkles and improved hydration, giving that glowing look that we all love so much. There's even evidence that it supports gut health by regulating our anti-inflammatory response in the digestive tract and promoting a balanced gut microbiome, all essential factors for immune health and overall wellness. And it gets even better because hydrogen water safety is a major plus. The FDA has actually given molecular hydrogen GRAS status. GRAS stands for Generally Recognized as Safe. It's an industry standard that indicates that there's no known toxic effects, even at high concentrations. And your gut naturally processes small amounts of hydrogen, so it's a familiar molecule to the body anyway, which makes it a low-risk addition to your wellness routine, whether you're young, elderly, or pregnant. At Panacea, we're really excited about hydrogen water because it aligns with our mission to offer clean, non-toxic solutions. We now offer products in our Panacea boutique, so you have convenient access to hydrogen water options. We're even looking at the possibility of introducing hydrogen water stations at our new Bridge Park location, which will be opening in Dublin in May of 2028. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that while the research is promising, it's not conclusive yet. Many studies are small, and we need larger trials to confirm the long-term benefits. But the early data is really compelling, especially for those with high oxidative stress like athletes or cancer survivors. At Panacea, we see it as a complement to our other clean treatments like LED light bed therapy or hyperbaric oxygen therapy, which also fight oxidative stress. So how do we get hydrogen water if we can't get it from our everyday drinking water? Well, we can create molecular hydrogen in a few ways. The first one is we can infuse hydrogen gas into water by bubbling the hydrogen gas into the water with high-pressure hydrogen devices. These machines can be very expensive, they're not as potent, and they're actually not super practical or consistent in their delivery of the hydrogen. Second, we can add hydrogen tablets to your water. These tablets typically contain magnesium, which reacts with water to create a chemical reaction that then releases hydrogen gas from the water molecule. These are a great option if you're traveling and you want to ensure consistent dosing, but they are consumable, so you have to purchase them over and over, like vitamins, which can get a little costly. And then the third way is through electrolysis. There are actually water bottles that use an electrolysis process to infuse water with hydrogen gas. During this process, an electric current breaks the covalent bonds that I talked about earlier and separates the water into hydrogen and oxygen gases. Once produced, the hydrogen gas is then dissolved into the water and is trapped or contained within the bottle, giving you hydrogen-rich water. Because molecular hydrogen is the smallest element in the universe, it's challenging to keep it contained, so you really need a high-quality water bottle that will keep the molecular hydrogen from escaping into the atmosphere. And you need one that will filter out other impurities and toxins that are found in our everyday drinking water. Otherwise, you'll have gut-disrupting chemicals like ozone and chlorine leaching into your hydrogen water, and you definitely don't want that. And if the bottle is not high quality, your concentrations of hydrogen will be minimal or non-existent. So not all hydrogen water bottles are created equal, but we'll get into that here in just a few minutes. So again, hydrogen water is just water that contains dissolved hydrogen gas in it. Hydrogen gas does not alter the structure or the pH of water. Water just simply acts as the carrier for the hydrogen molecules into your body. And once you've created your hydrogen water, all of the water in that bottle or in the glass, if you're using the tablets, becomes the supplement. And whether you choose hydrogen tablets or you choose hydrogen bottles, they both deliver one of the most effective ways to get hydrogen into your body. Depending on the brand you choose, you would simply need to drink 1 to 3 bottles a day, and that's with the brand that we carry at Panacea. And that would produce as much hydrogen as what is seen in most of the clinical studies that I talked about. For the tablets, you would need 1 to 3 tablets per day to reach the highest dose of hydrogen in those clinical studies. If you're thinking you want to go down the bottle route, know that not all hydrogen bottles are the same. I have researched this extensively and have found that the brand I use and recommend, which is called Evolve, gets the best reviews, is the most reliable, has the best warranties, and provides the most stable and potent concentrations of molecular hydrogen available. These Evolve bottles can produce an average of up to 5.42 parts per million, where other brands don't even produce half this amount. Many hydrogen water bottles on the market also begin to fail quickly, but the Evolve bottles are guaranteed to last at least 5 years while consistently producing these high levels and concentrations of hydrogen. I actually bought a molecular hydrogen reagent kit to test my water bottle, and I found that after using it for over a month, it tested at 10 parts per million, which is honestly super incredible. So hydrogen water, it's tasteless, it's odorless, it's colorless, and when you use the Evolve bottles, they make about 8 ounces of hydrogen water, and you only need to consume 3 of those bottles a day to really start feeling the positive effects of the molecular hydrogen. Other brands require more doses since they are less concentrated, and many require larger amounts of water, which makes it a little difficult for some people to consume before the hydrogen evaporates into the atmosphere. I know some people hate water, so drinking more than 8 ounces at a time might be a lot for some people. And since molecular hydrogen is the smallest element in the universe, it is challenging to keep H2 contained, so its shelf life requires immediate consumption. With the Evolve bottles that I mentioned, hydrogen water will last in an unopened bottle for up to 10 days. But once the bottle's opened, its half-life is 2 hours, which means that every 2 hours, there's half the molecular hydrogen available in the bottle. So that means you want to drink the water quickly before the hydrogen starts to escape. These Evolve bottles are also rechargeable. They have a self-cleaning mode. They're lab verified and certified for their effectiveness. And you'll love this if you listen to my Eliminating Toxins episodes. These bottles are actually certified as BPA and PFAS free. So remember those chemicals that are in receipt papers and water bottles and those forever chemicals that are accumulating in our bodies. These bottles do not have them, which is awesome. Plus, they have a proprietary filter in them that removes chlorine, ozone, and other harmful chemicals and wastes that are found in our drinking water. So the hydrogen water that these bottles produce is as fresh and as pure as possible, giving you the most potent concentration of molecular hydrogen anytime, anywhere. And now that I'm actually listening to myself talk about these hydrogen water bottles, I kind of sound like a walking commercial for this brand, but I promise I have not been hired by them. I just really, really believe in this technology and this particular brand, but you'll have to do your own research and see what you think. This is just what I found, and I hope that it's helpful to you. That said, and even though I know all of you know this, I want to be very clear and just state that I'm obviously not a physician. I'm not licensed to make diagnoses or make any clinical recommendations. So it's important that with this and with anything I talk about in Serenity and Fire, that you take control of your own health and consult with a healthcare professional to determine whether or not the things that we talk about on this podcast, including hydrogen water, are safe for you and in what dosages you should be consuming them in. But now that I have all of that technical stuff out of the way, if you're going to start using the Evolve water bottles, here's what they recommend from a daily dosing perspective. If you just want the minimum therapeutic dose, you just need to drink 1 bottle a day. If you're looking for everyday well-being, the average recommendation is 3 bottles a day. If you are looking for an athletic dose and trying to boost your athletic performance, you would want to drink 4 to 5 bottles a day. And if you're looking for like a recovery dose where you're trying to recover from injuries or really hard workouts, you would want to drink 5 to 6 bottles a day. Again, they're just 8 ounces, super easy to take down. And remember that the Evolve bottles have that GRAS status by the FDA, so that really demonstrates their high safety profile for consumption. And as someone who's battled infertility and weight gain, and also who's seen the toll that cancer takes on many of our clients, I know how overwhelming it can feel to find safe, effective ways to feel better. And that is why technology like this gets me so excited. And at Panacea, we're so passionate about finding clean, holistic solutions that give people hope and tangible results. And I'm convinced that hydrogen water is definitely one of those tools. Okay, so a few practical tips for using hydrogen water if you're going to jump in on this technology. First, I like to drink my water first thing in the morning, and then I also like to drink it before and after my workouts. And I do that at a minimum. Second, I recommend pairing it with a clean diet and or other great holistic therapies like hyperbaric oxygen therapy, LED, or even contrast therapy, to name a few. Doing this will only help amplify hydrogen water's antioxidant effects. Third, you do not want to replace your regular water bottle with your hydrogen water because H2 water is a supplement. It is not a replacement for your regular water. And just like your vitamins, you don't want to be taking it all day long. If you were to drink hydrogen water all day long and use that as your only source of water, you would become desensitized to the hydrogen, which you definitely don't want. Hydrogen needs to enter your body and spike your levels very quickly so it can enter your organs and perform its duties. It will then evaporate out of your body after about 30 to 45 minutes. So continue to keep drinking your regular water throughout the day. Fourth, if you have health conditions or you take medication, as we mentioned before, definitely make sure that you're checking with your doctor, even though we know that hydrogen water is generally safe. And last, while some people will see immediate results, don't give up if you don't see miracles happening overnight. Consistency is key, as is the case with anything holistic that we're trying. Try it for a few weeks and track how you feel. Do you feel less fatigue? Are you thinking clearer? Does your skin seem clearer? Are you recovering faster from your workouts? Try to take note of all of those things over time, and I am very confident that you're going to see great benefits. So in closing, I want to share that this episode ties back to one of our missions at Panacea, which is empowering you with safe, clean tools to thrive and take control of your health outcomes. Hydrogen water fits right in with that. It's non-toxic, science-based, it's versatile whether you're recovering from treatment, chasing athletic goals, or just wanting more energy. My personal challenges with infertility and weight loss have taught me how small changes, like cutting toxins and adding biohacks into my daily routine, can really make a big difference. Hydrogen water is just one more tool to help you feel your best, especially for those in our oncology community who are seeking gentle yet effective support. Okay, friends, that's it for today's episode. If you want to give hydrogen water a try and you aren't sure where to start, stop by the Panacea Boutique and pick up an Evolve water bottle today. And while you're there, if you book a hyperbaric oxygen therapy or an LED whole body light bed therapy treatment, mention the code SERENITY10 and we'll give you 10% off of your first treatment. If you liked today's episode, please share it with your friends so that we can help even more people, and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. Also follow us on social at Serenity and Fire. I'd love to hear how hydrogen water is making a difference for you. So please share your story with the hashtag Serenity and Fire, and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, keep balancing serenity with fire. I'm Krista Guigeni, and I'll see you in the next episode.